What's up, guys? Episode 5, Stick to the Script. I'm your host, Nick Skrip, here with my good buddy, Tane. We got some good topics to talk about today. As always, I see this guy all the time. We became great friends through the years. We were okay, kind of cool in high school, and then became super tight later in life, which is always dope, always dope. We got two little ones as well. But Tane,
Yep.
I can ask how you are. I can ask, what you did today, all that stuff. I'm just going to ask you the first question. Let's just break the ice. Let's get straight into this shit. And my question to you is, who is the 101 of villains? And when I say 101 for people that don't looking at fantasy football, who's like the number one person, number one pick when it comes to the villain category? I'm curious to hear what you say here.
The villain category. Hmm. I don't know. That's kind of tough. That's kind of tough.
There's a lot, man. There's a lot that come to mind. My first thought went to Anthony, but I figure we would make it an actual villain from like a movie or a TV show. I got one off the top of my head right away.
Look. Okay. Let's hear what you got, man.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. A lot of guys came to mind. I just mentioned Anthony. You think to like certain movies you like. Obviously, I love the Batman series. Joker comes to mind. You can go down the list. TV shows,
I am
heroes,
there.
villains.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Darth Vader. I'm gonna go Darth Vader just because through
Damn.
time. I feel like Darth Vader has been the ultimate bad guy. Like when you and I
Oh
were little,
man.
he was the bad guy. Uh,
Absolutely.
Kids
Yeah.
these days know who Darth Vader is. I mean, if you look at the movie series, this is a guy that was driven by heavy emotions, right? Who
Hmm.
turned to the dark side. He fucking killed a bunch of kids from the one movie.
Yes.
That's bad,
Yeah.
man. That's bad. And
He
I
murdered
feel like
children.
he
Yeah.
eased up at the end
Yeah.
of the original series. But when we look at like true darkness and always been the bad guy, Darth Vader comes to mind for me.
No, he's an iconic villain. Man, that's gonna be hard to follow up with. But yes, I 100% agree, man. I'm a big Star Wars guy, as are you. Uh,
Yeah,
Darth Vader is he's one of the favorites, and it hurts even more because he used to be a good guy.
yeah.
So with that being said, he just has to deal with he also had like a lot of anguish and torment that he has to deal with. Um, yeah, the crazy part is what drove him over to the dark side is he was trying to like save his loved ones
Yeah.
and also saved his unborn children. And in the meantime, he was just like, fuck these kids. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I don't see a lot of villains in movies killing kids, and he clearly
no,
did. Not
no,
that I
man.
mean I don't want to keep talking about it. I mean, but like that just
Oh
shows
yeah, yeah,
what
yeah,
he had to do.
yeah.
And did you watch Obi-Wan?
Yes, I did. Obi-Wan
Oh
was great.
man, the
Oh
scene
man,
where the face is off, you see Anakin and you
it
see
was,
Darth Vader, and he's
oh, that
like,
was so good.
"Oh my god!" He was just
Yeah.
like Anakin, like I killed Anakin, like you didn't kill Anakin, I killed Anakin, like all this
Oh
stuff. I'm like,
yeah.
damn, that's a dark motherfucker right there.
It was great. Nah, it was great. That was probably the best Star Wars series that there's been in
Ever,
probably ever.
yeah.
Probably ever. I think that was the best one ever. And we've had some good ones. Clone Wars, the animated one was good. I enjoyed that. That was a good one. But yeah, that probably takes the cake, I think.
You got to
Uh
top it though. You got to top it, or at least give a good one. Who's your 101 or somebody that comes to mind? Villain.
man, it's hard, man. It is hard, but I don't know if I can. I can't. I don't think I can pick anybody as dark as Vader per se, but I would probably have to go Magneto.
I like it. I
I
like it.
think I would have to go Magneto, man. He's always been a favorite. He's always been a favorite of mine. Like big into the X-Men series. I know that you like X-Men too. Uh, but yes, Magneto, absolutely. Just because at the end of the day, you can't necessarily argue with his cause.
Yeah.
Like, is the way that he's going about it. It could be incorrect for some. Like he's not afraid to take prisoners. He's not afraid to take lives. But at the end of the day, he's trying to fight for his people, and
Mhm.
he's trying to fight for not just equality for mutants, but for them to be, treated not as less than. But I mean, I guess you could say there was a time where he would settle for equal, but
Yeah.
then he kind of got to a point to where he was just like, nah, you know what? We're better than everybody.
Yeah. Fuck that.
So, yeah, he's a good one, man. He's also one of those dudes that was complicated. He's dabbled with being good there for some years, and then was just like, nah, like I'm pure evil. Him and Charles Xavier, them being good friends at one point in life, and then all of a sudden they're enemies. It's a good story. I think he's a good villain, man. But
Yeah.
there are so many villains. That's a tough one. Vader, I like that one a lot. But honestly, those are great guys. I think those are heavy hitting guys.
And there's some similarities, right? I mean, like they didn't start off bad their whole lives. I think they
Right.
had good intentions at one point.
Exactly.
You look at Vader using like the Force and like choking somebody to death or throwing somebody. You see Magneto throwing like cars at people, like things like. I mean, these are like
Yes.
powerful guys that they attack in a violent way. Both of them.
They do. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Very,
I thought
very, very
about this a
violent.
lot though. I did. I mean, there's a lot of villains out there. You can go in like the horror movie route. You can go to superhero, movies. I thought you were about to pull out some Naruto shit or something like that, but
Oh yeah, man. Look.
I don't know that stuff though.
That's what I'm saying. So I would have gotten into it, but I don't necessarily know if the audience is gonna know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah. You
I
gotta play
can
your
leave some of
audience.
those guys on the back burner. But yeah, those guys, a lot of the villains in there are definitely up there for sure. It's one of my
Yeah.
favorite shows.
So, mentioned before, Tane and I hang out a ton. One of the big hangouts was Anthony's bachelor party, which we talked about in one of the first two episodes. Great time. The guys and the girls were separate. Guys had way more fun than the girls did. Tane, I think, was trying to say the girls were the ones that had fun, but that's beyond the point. But good times all around. I want to speak about one time because I want to really get down to the bottom of this one because, and I'll paint the picture. We're walking down Milwaukee, I don't know, some random street. We're coming to a light. There's a bunch of bikers on, in front of a light, ready to take off. Right? They're revving their engines. They're like some fake, motorcycle gang. Some of them are wearing the same shit, and we're all like hyping them up. We're screaming, right? We're like fist pumping, saying like, let's go, because these guys are about to fucking take off down the road. And as soon as we start hyping them up, these guys are like ready to go.
Yeah.
Tane, steps up in front of us with his dreadlocks. If you are listening in your car, he's got dreadlocks, and he starts doing the like hard rock, bobbing the dreadlocks. Head banging, and I really think that got these guys going even more. They take off. One of the guys starts going left and right with his hands with the steering wheel and ends up just eating shit in the street, completely wiped out. He was way too hyped. Tane, my question, man, my question is, did you cause that? Did you cause that motorcycle accident?
Obviously not on purpose, but I definitely did. It was a very, very fun weekend. Shouts to Anthony. It was great. We were having drinks in the hotel room beforehand. Shouts to Anthony and Maddie. We were having drinks in the hotel room beforehand, so we were about to go out. So everybody was turned up. Everybody was turned up, having a good time. We were all feeling really good. And obviously, I was feeling great because anytime I headbang or do anything like that, like it immediately, I feel like my brain just like wiggled in my head when I do it. That's it. It gets me a little dizzy. And yes, exactly how you said. I felt like they got even more hyped than they were. It was as clear as day. Dude took off. He seemed like out of the bunch, he was probably like the little pup.
Yeah. Sure. He was a rookie, I think.
He definitely was. That you could kind of tell because when he didn't take off like those other dudes. Those other dudes took off. Everybody's sturdy. He immediately starts wobbling. He wipes out. I go, oh shit! Like I'm I run over to the dude.
All of us were like, "Oh my God!" Like, no.
It was like a tragedy almost happened right in front of our eyes. We went from everybody feeling great. Everybody hyped, super excited. To in the split second, just like death was in the air. We were like, oh my God, this dude is probably hurt for life. And he popped up really quick because the bike, he slid out very close to us, so I was able to run out into the street.
His bike slid and hit a car, didn't it?
Yeah, his bike slid, and it almost ended up underneath a car. Like, it didn't hit the car, super hard or anything like that, but it was very close. I walked up to him and I was like, "Hey, you okay?" He was like, "I'm good." He's like picking up the bike right away and like trying to start it and hop back on it and just go about his business. And I'm pretty sure his friends were coming back to help him. But yeah, he looked like he was okay, and we just left. And then the rest of that day, you already know, I was just like, man, I definitely caused a car accident. Didn't know that I had that power. But yeah, there is a such thing as being too turned up.
Yeah,
you gotta be able to kind of gauge your skills and what you can do. And in that moment, it was funny because he was having some problems.
He looked like a little kid first, figuring out how to ride his bike and just losing control of the steering wheel.
That's exactly what it was like. It was it was like trying to teach somebody's child how to ride a bike. And it's like when your dad first lets you go, without the training wheels, it's wobbly. You might wipe out. You might glide and end up riding. But he definitely ate it.
That to me, though,
one of my proudest moments.
But to me, you said something like about having that power to do something like that. I think having that power to hype up somebody so much that it's too much.
Absolutely.
Since that has happened, has there been a moment where you thought you might use that power again, or do you just kind of keep that in your back pocket?
Oh man, I think I'm just gonna keep it in the back pocket. I definitely feel like I've gotten to some headbanging moments there again at one point in time, but
drinking and partying maybe.
The energy was not met, the same as that situation. That situation is crazy. Like, if we were out, at a bar or at a club or something like that, I mean, I guess the craziest thing somebody could do would be to jump off of a table.
Oh,
or something crazy like that.
Which you've seen me do before, or jump onto a table. Sorry, I went through a table.
More than once? It was once, right?
Well, just once. It was you, me, and Martin in the living room. You were holding the ladder, and I jumped through the table. Yeah.
No, that's a
different story, but
that's another moment. That's another moment for the ages. That reminded me of just like old school wrestling. Putting people through tables, slapping chairs over dudes' foreheads.
I became tougher after that. I became tougher after that happened to me personally. But
I saw that you grew some scales. Your skin got a lot stronger. I think you broke a rib. It ended up turning to adamantium like Wolverine. It was good.
Yeah, adamantium, whatever it is. But So you and I play fantasy football. All right, just kind of pivoting off of that. Play fantasy football. I think the first league we ever played in together. I want to ask about this. I feel like I'm just interrogating you right now, Sardi. I asked about if you felt at fault to that motorcycle accident. You kind of said you did. My next question, sure. I want to bring up something else. So the OG Infinity Gauntlet Draft. So it's a fantasy football league that we both were in at one point. It might have been one of our first big leagues, maybe. That meant something. We were drafting the whole time, drinking beers the entire day, having a good time. Maybe shots were involved. I don't know.
It got there. It
was the original draft. I mean, some of us just met each other that day.
That's very true.
You were on the clock at one point towards the end of the night. And the rest of us started looking around, and we're like, where's he at? Is he taking a piss on the side of the house? Is he in the house? We're looking. We're calling you. Can't get a hold of you. We look down the street. This guy disappears. He disappears at the draft. We're all drunk. We finally get a hold of him, and he said, "Oh, my bad, guys. You know what? I got picked up, and I'm going to get tacos." So he pulled a what I call a Houdini. He just completely disappeared.
Yeah.
Is that something you've done a bunch since then? Was that a rare moment? Do you just you get to a point where you're just like, I'm out, and just disappear, or how does this work?
Absolutely. Now I'll be completely honest. Everybody at the draft that year, I knew we went to school with most of those guys. We
Yeah.
grew up with most of the guys there at the draft. Now you get a little excited. And at this particular point in time, mind you, I had taken a break from drinking.
Okay.
So the day of this draft or whatever, I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I haven't drank in a couple of weeks. Like, everything's gonna be good. I'm not trying to make excuses, whatever the case, whatever. So we're drafting, having a good time, and yes, like you said, this is one of the first bigger drafts. Everybody's having, a good time. Uh, Matt had he had some Jose Cuervo gold.
Oh
Like,
yeah. I do remember. Yep.
and I'm just like, shit. And I forget what the reason was we had to take shots for. I forgot what the rule was, but there was a rule. There was some kind of rule, and then at one point, I think we were just toasting and then doing the shots.
Yeah. It always starts that way. Like, let's take one shot for X
Yeah,
reason, and then it becomes, let's just take shots.
yeah, which isn't necessarily a big deal, but you got to be careful. You got to
Always.
be careful. But yes, those shots definitely put me over the edge. It was warm Cuervo Gold. That's definitely not even a tequila that I particularly drink. It's a little too cheap for me. And especially warm. Warm is that's a recipe for disaster. So in this particular case, I had to pull the Irish goodbye. I had to pull the Houdini, as you
Houdini.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there was at one point in time, I looked around and I was like, oh shit, I'm shit faced. Like I'm probably not gonna make it. I haven't seen any of these dudes in a long time. They're not about to see me wasted. I gotta get out of here. I'm like, I
Yeah.
gotta get up out of here.
You get to that
So,
point sometimes. I relate to that. I've
oh
done it
yeah,
at my own house, having people over, where I'm just like, I get to a point and I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. I remember being at Martin, our buddy Martin's house for Lorenzo's like first party, getting like absolutely hammered, and like we're still in the garage over there having a good time, and I got to a point where that's it. So I'm out.
yeah,
I'm out. You don't
yep.
have to always say goodbye. People,
Gotta bounce. Yeah, that's
yeah.
it.
But yeah,
That's it.
the
And
classic Houdini. That's what
and
like my dad and John and like those guys would always call it.
yeah, and it's better. It's better than passing out at a friend's house, or even getting to the point to where somebody may have to take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go when you have like that last ounce of like, nah, I'm either walking home or I'm getting a ride home, and then that's it. You guys will hear from me later. Everything's good. But
Yeah. As long as I don't go to sleep right away. If I leave and somebody
oh
texts me
yeah,
like, "Where'd you go?" I just be like, I had to go. I had to go. A lot of
yeah.
times though, if I leave, I'm asleep within like 20 minutes of being wherever I
Exactly.
am.
Like knocked out. In this case, I started to feel a little bit better, so I went and got some tacos.
Yeah, you're like, you
And
told us. You're like, I went to go get tacos. We're like, bro, fucking tell
bro,
us, man.
yeah, exactly. And I felt bad about that. But I'm in the fucking restaurant eating tacos. I'm starting to sober up. I'm like, all right, cool, feeling pretty good. Went back to the house. It was chill after that. But yes, that was definitely one of the funnier moments. And a hell of a way to start off a draft, man. Where
Oh yeah,
the league, that league ended up being pretty cool. You and I both won championships in that league,
yes, sir.
and yeah, it was good times. Good times.
And we've had a lot of good drinking times together. I mean, we'll talk a little bit
Oh, for
about
sure.
the bar scene and things like that. We went to Florida, so Fontaine, Kelsey, Nick, Caitlin, myself, and my ex, we all went to Florida together, and it was good. It was a good time. We went to like Disney and all the parks, and
Yes.
went on the rides and stuff. And we on the last day, I think that was my favorite day. We just chilled by the pool,
Yes.
drinking, listening to music,
Absolutely.
having a good time. It came to a point though at night where only three of us were kind of left. I think the other three were not really about it.
Yep.
It was
That's very
you,
true.
me, and Caitlin, which we like labeled ourselves as like the three amigos or whatever. We got some pictures together like that, and
We
we
still don't
we
have a good enough nickname. We
we got to
definitely
get
should.
something down. We got to get something
Something.
down.
Yeah.
But we ended up at a bar with a very distinct character. Do you remember the bartender and what happened that night? Because I feel like we drank a lot in a short period
Oh
of
yeah.
time. And it was good.
Oh yeah. Definitely drink a lot. I always forget his name.
It's Brian. Brian, I remembered.
All right. Yes, Brian was a good dude, man. I always forget his name, but I'll never forget his face
Oh no,
because
no.
I went to the bathroom and he took and I left my phone and he took a picture of my phone. He took a picture of himself, a selfie with this married couple this married older couple. They were also at the bar and they were getting shit faced,
Oh yeah.
because they were on vacation. But yes, absolutely. That was a hell of a way to end it. I think we stopped and got some food on the way back to the room. And
We were in kind of rough shape though because this guy,
for sure.
he was a very distinct character. He was um pretty sure he was a gay guy. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes,
We loved him. We loved him. He was
he
good, but
was
he was
heavy
like
handed.
he was fucking jacked though, and he had a
Yes,
huge mustache. Huge
he did.
mustache.
He was in great shape. The dude was a very, very heavy handed, very generous bartender.
Yes.
Like he was pouring us these drinks and
Random shots of stuff.
holy shit. Yeah. Like and they all tasted good, but the alcohol in them was really heavy.
Yeah.
It was cool though. It was a good way to go out, and it was a good way to end the trip. We had a lot of fun that day. So, and that's always a good trip. I'll always one to remember. That was a great time.
You and I
But
were
yeah,
just at
Brian dude was very very nice.
he was very nice. He was very nice.
Very very
He was
very
all
funny
about
guy.
I think he's smart though at the end of the day because I'm like, this guy was pouring us these shots. Maybe he didn't charge us for everything, but he charged us for enough. So he probably does this pretty often, where he's hooking people up with some drinks. People are
Yeah.
loving it. He's got a good personality, and it's got to be fun to be a bartender like that with vacationers.
No, man, absolutely, absolutely. I would like to think that if I bartended, that's like the kind of bartender that I would want to be. Like, I want to make sure that everybody's chill. Everybody. I can give you a little bit of an extra, heavy pour here or there.
Oh yeah,
Give you some free shots every now and then. Why not? Because at the end of the day, bars are expensive, and if you're somebody who's chill, you're having good conversation. I'm normally the type of person who just likes to be a little bit generous, give somebody a shot or something like that. I would definitely do that as a bartender on a regular basis. That would always be fun.
you'd be a good bartender. I think you'd be a good bartender.
Man, some would say too good. Some would say too
Maybe,
good.
maybe.
I couldn't.
I thought about it
Yeah.
before myself, just because I had a few people that I used to hang out with back in the day that were bartenders, different people that I was close to at some point, different ones that would tell me like what they make on a night and stuff, and the hours
Yeah.
suck and you miss out on your weekends. But man,
Yeah.
that's some decent side cash. But
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, they definitely make some good money, especially depending on where they're working exactly. Absolutely, definitely good. Some of these people, are just really generous. They tip really well. All you got to
yeah,
do is take care of them, make sure that they're good. Most definitely, and you would especially, make a good bartender if I just picture you on a beach somewhere, behind a bar, with your arms out,
yeah.
in a tank top. You know what I'm saying? And
Not like not like a Twin Peaks like outfit sort of thing. Not that.
no, no, you,
All
you don't you
right,
don't you don't have to go full Twin Peaks. You don't have to
all
wear
right,
the
yeah.
booty shorts or anything like that.
Okay.
But
That's fair. That's fair.
just the tank top is cool. Just something to show a little muscle. You don't want to give them too much because you want to come off like a whore. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But
Even if
just
I
a,
am,
just a
even
little
if I
bit of
am, I don't want to come off that way.
I, yeah, just you don't necessarily want to come off
No,
that
no, no,
way,
no, no.
but other than that, just a little bit, just to get the people wanting a little bit more. That always works.
We just had a good night on a Sunday.
Yes,
So we
sir.
were at Bedrocks, which was cool, and it was Tane, Chavez, myself,
Yes.
John, Wendy, Sully came through.
Yeah.
Some of the bartenders got off of their shift. They hung out with
Yeah.
us. It was a good time. We've had some good times together. I think at bars. I think we're a good like bar duo. I think we just kind of go a little too hard sometimes.
No, for sure. For sure. There's definitely some moments where it's just like, yeah, we probably should have went home.
Oh,
Uh
always. We
or
always say that. We always say that because we'll stay out too
yeah.
late and then we'll still end up together sometimes. My
Yep.
birthday is an example. I think you slept at my house that day, and
Absolutely.
good memories though.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
What
Maybe,
happened?
maybe not. Maybe not.
Okay, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. We're good. We're good.
Okay, my bad. Okay, what were you saying? Oh yeah, yeah,
No, I was
yeah.
just saying. I
Your
was just saying
birthday.
about closing them out to. We probably close them out sometimes or stay too
Oh, for
long
sure, man.
or there's your my birthday. I remember you stood here because we we stood out too long and you came through and stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
man. It's tough, man. Especially for me because for one, I like to drink. All right, obviously, and
same.
it's a lot of fun. It's a good way for me to relieve stress. And the thing with that is like I don't really drink during the week. I
Yeah,
don't drink during the week, too much because then it's just like, all right, like I feel relaxed, but then like there's always like that one little thing. Like if I start to feel like a decent like little buzz, like there's never like I never necessarily know like what it is that I'm gonna do. Am I going to remain disciplined or am I gonna be like, nah, we should go to this bar to get food for dinner and then just go there and hang out for a while, like as
yeah,
well.
and
So
just
I
stay
try
out.
to stay I try to stay away from it during the week and just keep it from the weekend and keep it for the weekend because, like I don't necessarily, like waking up like after drinking to a certain extent for work, or even if I do a little bit, sometimes I'm still a little groggy. So during the week, I don't even touch alcohol. I'm more of a weekend warrior,
There
if
you
you
go.
were.
Yeah,
You know
there
what
you
I
go.
mean? Yeah. If,
Yeah.
if there was a word for it, like a Friday night, possibly. I like to play video games on Friday nights.
Uh-huh.
Saturdays for sure. Sundays.
Football
Sundays
season.
are Sundays. Sundays are a possibility. One hundred
Yeah,
percent.
depends on
Yeah.
the. I mean, football season kind of helps with that. But we
Football season absolutely is. That's a big factor.
oh yeah, big time. And I feel like also like the times we have gone out together, a lot of people kind of gravitate towards us sometimes, and it makes it a
Yeah.
better night. I mean, this past Sunday, just being an example, we had a good group over at Bedrocks and had a
Yeah.
good time. Like maybe we didn't plan on staying that late, but people were starting to hang out with us, and it makes for a good night when you kind of bring in people, but me and you were already
Yeah.
together or already. So we were already set. Everything else was just kind of cake from there.
No, absolutely, man, and yeah, I think it's just the energy that you put out. Like you're a stand up guy. I like to feel like I'm a stand up guy when with people. You try to make people feel good when you hang out. Just have good energy, just chill, and yeah, people do gravitate towards that because it's genuine. It's genuine energy. I never try to come off to anybody like standoffish or weird or like I'm trying to. Sometimes people will hang out and they'll kind of sort of they'll act like they're trying to either get something from you
Yeah,
or they can
yeah,
just be a little weird with the energy. Some dudes always just try to act a little too tough, a little too cool. Like I'm good with being goofy and being silly, hanging out with my friends. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah. You
it's
can
more
let your guard
relaxing
down. You
that
can
way.
let your guard down and just
You
kind of
got you
have a
got to
good
be
time.
able to
And
do that. Yeah,
yeah,
you got to
I
be able to
agree
do
with that.
that. Yeah,
So
got to be
so
able to do that.
another thing we have in common. I mean, we're talking. We mentioned like fantasy. We're talking villains because we both like that sort of thing. We're talking bars and going out and memories with that. Another thing we have in common, you have Cairo, your son. I have Mila, my daughter, not
Yes.
super far in age. What's been
Oh yeah.
awesome, and I think what's drawn us closer together is the fact that through time we've been able to hang out and have our kids hang out and just do things together. So I've gotten to
Absolutely.
know Cairo, you've gotten to know Mila. Almost seems like a family sort of mentality when it comes to that sort of thing.
It
So
is.
when it comes to Cairo, what I mean, you're with them obviously every day, nonstop,
Yep.
and they're getting older, they're getting smarter, they're
Oh
speaking
yeah.
more, they
Oh
have their
yeah.
own personalities. And I love the personality part that seems to be growing in the kids. Like we had this
Mm-hmm.
big group of kids, right? You got Cairo, Mila, Lorenzo,
Yep.
Aria. You go down the list of all these kids that have been in the circle. What about Cairo though? What's something with Cairo that you feel like you're starting to see in him that you're like, you know what, he gets that from me. That's totally me. Something he does or a certain way he acts. Something that you're like, that's my kid right there. Like he gets that from me.
Yeah. So for one thing with him is that he's very outgoing. So so there are sometimes, when he can be a little shy, but it doesn't take him very long to warm up, some in certain moments, depending on how he's feeling. But he is, very much a kid that, he's going to put some good energy out there. He asks a lot of questions.
Yeah,
Especially now, he's really big into asking questions. Like he doesn't ask full questions, but his new thing is like he'll point to stuff and he'll say name. And when he says name, he's basically just asking you what that is. It's like, oh,
that's cool.
that's a that's a chair,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
just random stuff like that. So
yeah,
he's doing that now. Um, so yeah, he just has like a willingness to just kind of he's getting to the point now where he's showing more of a willingness to kind of like, learn things. He repeats a lot of stuff. And from what I heard when I was a kid, I used to repeat a lot of things. Like I heard that, I got aunties that I grew up with, that helped, raise me. And they told me that they purposely wouldn't say certain things around me because they knew that I would repeat it to my mom or to my grandma or something like that. And I'm just like, damn, because Cairo definitely does that. There's
yeah,
certain words and certain things that he does where I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely stuff that I used to do when I was a kid. Um, yeah, but other than that, just like the normal boy stuff, it's like I can't necessarily say like, oh, he gets it from me because I
yeah.
would just think that he's just being a dude. But
Uh,
some of it is really similar. Like he's really into Star Wars. He's really in the Star Wars. Like early, he has Star Wars toys. He has to like watch Darth Vader, or if he wants to watch like Boba Fett, or he'll just say lightsabers, and I'll just put it on the TV.
yeah,
Um, what else? Really big in the Marvel superheroes, and yeah, really big in the Marvel superheroes and stuff like that. He's big into Spider Man, big into Batman. He likes all that stuff. So
uh,
just like typical dude stuff. He likes
yeah.
to play with Nerf guns and cars and stuff like that. So yeah, we got some similarities. Do you have anything in particular about Mila that you can definitively say like, yo, that's me?
Yeah, I mean there's a few things that come to mind right away. The first one is I feel like she likes her routines of things. Like she likes to come home, get the snack. She likes to wake up, watch something specific on TV, or it gets a certain point of the night she wants to
Yeah,
be sitting on the couch watching TV. I feel like she likes her routine, and
yeah,
I am 1,000% all about routines with my life. Like wake up at
for
this
sure.
time, go to the gym, go to work, go to do this at this specific time of the day. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
big routine guy, and I feel like she's kind of routine oriented. Just a little bit. I mean, I'm sure a lot of kids are, anyways. But that's one thing. Another
Mm-hmm.
thing, if you piss her off, she gets super salty. Like uh she'll get annoyed and kind of be salty with you for a little bit, and that's totally
Yeah.
Nick's Skrip being salty about something. That's the thing. She repeats a lot of my phrases now and stuff. So when I'm just like, I'll ask her to give me a goodbye kiss. And I used to when she was little, like she'd give me a kiss, and then I just like yell like, oh, just like something like that. And now she does it all the time. Like she just picks up on my my phrases and stuff like that were
Yeah.
like totally me, and she just like
Yep.
copies things that I would do all the time. So
Yes.
I feel like those little things, obviously it's a little girl with a dad, but at the same
Oh
point, you
yeah.
kind of look at her and be like, you are little me sometimes. I love it.
No, absolutely. Yeah, there's always some of that in there. I don't think it necessarily matters if it's a girl or a boy. Girls naturally gravitate towards their fathers anyway. Like if you it's like their first example, of what a man is. So they make sense, and
Yeah,
they have that kind of relationship with their fathers often. Uh, and I feel like it's mama's boys and daddy's girls. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's gotta be cool being a girl dad, because the bond is different for sure.
And we just kind of shared that through time here, just learning nonstop, you and I, because we're
Yeah,
first time parents, and it's cool that we've had that, the ability to have kids that can chill and hang out with each other and stuff
yeah,
now. But
man.
at the same
And we
point,
we've
me,
learned a
you and I are
lot.
still learning, man. We're still learning every day,
Yes, every day, every
every
day.
day.
And we're learning a lot. So it's been cool. It's been a good learning experience. Kids are a lot of work.
Yes,
uh, a lot of work. I definitely want to make sure that I'm in a better position the next time that I want to try to have one. Um, but at the end of the day, you're never going to be fully prepared, but you at least you have more of an idea of what this is. And I would say at least by the time you probably, like, if you're thinking about having the second one, you'll
I,
have more
I
of a
got a little bit of
roadmap.
I got some loops and obstacles before I get to that point.
Exactly. But like, it's so do I.
Oh, all right, all right, all
I
right.
look, I absolutely do too. But we'll see. But if that's the case, and if either one of us get there in the future, I think we'll be a little more prepared. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. I think we've done good though. We've done good so far as rookie parents. The last 2 years, 2 years plus, we've been good. We've been good,
Yeah.
especially as dads. So I'm gonna give us hats off to that for sure.
Yeah.
But we're 18 days right now into the new year,
Oh yeah.
so small sample size. Partially, I'm looking at it like, damn, one of the 12 months is almost, it's getting close to being gone already. So
Mm-hmm.
we could be reaching here a little bit. We could be thinking too much into it. Is there anything that comes to mind so far as something you've picked up on so far, just into the new year? Something you've learned, something that maybe you change your way of thinking with something.
Hmm.
I can think of some things, but I'm curious to know if anything, 18 days into 2023, you're like, yeah, I look at this different, or my mindset's different here, or this is something I learned. What comes to mind? Anything?
So I've been thinking about it. So I mean, it's kind of tough to say because it is early. But I think just really having an understanding of what your position, like where you're positioned at, like when the new year comes, or after the new year. How are you ending the year, and then going into the next year? You know what I mean? I feel like when you're a little bit younger, you kind of look at it as more of like a celebration, and like, yeah, you do have like time to reflect on things that you went throughout the year. um so far so far, I have not necessarily. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that I've actually, that I've learned.
Yeah,
Um, that is that I'm really looking into a whole lot. But for one thing that I want to change, I guess, about myself is I just really want to get back to the point to where, like, I'm just in grind mode a little bit more.
yeah,
It takes a little bit longer for me to lock in with certain things that I want to do. But I know what I have to do to get to the point to
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, I just want to focus on this, and that. And, very much like you, I have to have a routine, set in place. And once I initiate it, that's just kind of how it has to be. Because once I get going on something, it's good for me to keep it up, repetitive. I just have to stick to it. So
Yeah.
basically just trying to I'm just going to try to implement some new things here within the new year. I've started a weight loss journey a couple of weeks ago.
You were telling me about that a
So
little bit.
trying to stay on that, man. I'm doing the intermittent fasting thing. So I have a window to where it's like I'm only eating from like 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Every day. Sometimes I'll have my last meal at 7 o'clock and then just go. And it's cool because I'll be honest with you. It's in the beginning it's kind of tough, but it's giving me more energy already. It's giving me more energy already. My stomach is already flatter. And it's only been about a week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And when you're not eating food, it's you don't really think about this that much, but you can just hydrate.
Yeah.
You can hydrate. You're supposed to, the amount of water that you're supposed to drink in a day. I think they say you're supposed to have like 9 cups or something like that of water. And that's
Most people don't. Most people don't.
Majority of people don't.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, when the scientists say like, oh, the body's 70% water, it makes sense. When you look at your average intake of the water you're supposed to drink today, it's like if you were actually getting that in, you wouldn't be as hungry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's basically what I've been doing, drinking a hell of a lot more water. I think I finished well over a gallon a day. Probably more than that. I got this jug and it has like the time on it.
Oh, that's cool.
I drink that and it keeps me full for most of the day. So by the time I'm ready to eat, it's just like, oh shit, like cool. Like I can eat now. And then I'll eat, nothing too crazy. Like I've cut sweets out entirely. I'm not eating too much bread, and stuff like that.
It adds up. It adds up when you start doing little things like that.
Sorry, my bad. What did you say?
No, I was saying it adds up when you start doing these little things. You start drinking more water. You start cutting out certain foods. It adds up.
It's just little stuff like like little by little. And it's like it hasn't been absolutely perfect. Like I've still eaten like during this time frame I've still eaten like chicken wings with like barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
But it's like I fasted for the majority of the day, so it's putting my body and my mind into like this state of ketosis where it's gonna burn that off super duper fast. And at the same time, when you actually look at the amount of calories or, the sugar is what you really want to stay away from. But when you look at the amount of calories and like the carbs and the fat that's in like an actual chicken wing, it's not that crazy. You just can't like overindulge and staying away from dessert and sugary, drinks and stuff like that. It helps. I'm just trying to, just drop some of this weight off of me for sure, man, because it's gotten to the point to where it's like, all right, like something's got to give. This is annoying. And I just got to do something about it. So motivated with that. And it sucks because it's just like when you kind of start out with this shit, you're just like, man, like, oh yeah, like new year, new me, y'all. I'm finna hit the gym. I'm gonna start the weight loss, and then it's like you're rolling out, you go strong, and then March comes around, and then it's just like, damn, I fell off.
Yeah. What happened? What happened to me? It's
time,
tough to be consistent, man. It's tough to be consistent with that.
I gotta make that shit stick, man. I'm trying to get like Nick Skrip out here. I'm trying to get like Nick Skrip.
Nah.
All right. Like, I don't know if I can commit to the gym in the morning like you do. I'm not a morning person, but I at least need to start going after work. And I need you to hold me accountable, man. Like, I know.
I just won't hang out with you. If you break any of this stuff, I'm just not fucking chill with you no more.
Damn, that's fucked up.
Hey, I'm trying to hold you accountable. That's all I'm saying right here.
You can still.
If you
We
say you
still.
broke your diet like for a full week, I'm out. Don't hit me up
We
for
can
2
still
weeks.
be friends. Like, damn, we're
Yeah,
not gonna
text
hang.
me. I ain't seen you. No,
That's
that's good
kind
though.
of
It's good. It literally though, when it comes to that, diet is so fucking hard. Like I even think working out is way easier than dieting because like
absolutely.
having a set, you know, I want to drink more water. I want to cut
Oh
out
yeah.
certain foods. I want to eat at a certain time. People think it's, something that could be super easily attainable, but when you're going through a full day of your regular day life and
Hmm.
2 weeks ago that was never a thing and now it is,
Exactly.
that you see, you get signals from your body. Maybe you're hungry, you're like
Oh
you're
yeah.
agitated or something. I mean, like 2 weeks ago you weren't on that diet. I'm not you, I'm just saying
Exactly.
in general, like two
Oh
weeks ago
no.
that didn't mean shit to you, but now it does,
No, that's
and now you got to do it
absolutely
every week. It's tough.
exactly. And you gotta get to the point. Like the key is like you gotta get to the point to where like this is just your natural thing.
Yeah,
Like this is what
it's a habit.
this it's a habit. Like your body's gotta be able to feed off of this. Like it's the routine. Like right now, my body is more so just getting used to it. It's like, oh, okay, like this is what we're doing now, and then it's like it's adjusting. The next step is to get into the gym because you are absolutely right. You don't actually, dude, if you can commit to the gym and getting in there, like you go in the mornings Monday through Friday, right?
I try to,
Saturday still sometimes.
so my schedule's a little bit different now because we're splitting days
Yeah.
with Mila. So there's some days maybe I'll be off, or I'll just try to do something here at home with Mila. She's
Yeah.
watching a movie. Like last night, she's watching a movie. I was doing like push-ups and she's laughing at me doing it. It just
Oh
depends.
yeah. Yeah. No, yeah, but that's the thing, you got to get into the routine, and that's the thing, man. Like routine is key. A lot of people don't necessarily like to have a routine, but I
Yeah,
think it's important. I think it's how you stay consistent. I think
absolutely.
it makes it less hard. It doesn't make it as hard to stop like when you're really in that mindset,
Yeah,
so yeah,
yeah,
that's what I need. That's the next step for me for the new year.
that's good.
um and then yeah, I guess also just holding myself just more accountable, hold myself more accountable for shit, and really just trying to, I guess, just make
Yeah,
smarter moves for the future.
that that
And
uh
yeah.
that's got to do a lot with mine. That comes to mind with the smarter moves. For me, I want to avoid or start avoiding as much as possible, like situations where I'm wasting my time. Like I'm wasting time on something that is not beneficial to me. There's been a few situations semi recently where maybe something popped up and seemed like a good idea, or had a situation that, what, I really like this situation, but there's no good end result, right? There's no
Hmm.
there's no good outcome for this. So,
Yes.
now I'm in a
Yes.
time where maybe, old situations from the past kind of pop back up.
Oh
Uh
yeah.
just not to like overly, I don't want to be specific about it, but like there's been a few situations that have popped up from the past and I'm like, "Oh man, this is cool. This makes me feel a certain way, but I know that
Hmm.
there's no benefit to it. There's no good end result. It's wasting time, it's wasting energy, and that's something I
Absolutely.
want to avoid doing as much as possible is wasting time, wasting energy on things
Yeah.
that will not be beneficial to me at all. Like I'd rather waste time and energy on people or things that I know will be important to me in the long run. Like I'd rather waste
Absolutely.
my time like I did with you guys on Sunday, right?
Hmm.
I wasted time, quote unquote, with you and Chavez and John. I'd rather waste time doing that because I know you guys are like that. That's a thing. Versus
Hmm.
like, hey, there's this other situation that's going on. I know there's nothing that's going to be, that's going to be a positive outcome of it. But I'm still going to put some time and energy. I want to avoid that as
Yeah.
much as possible.
No, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, man, regardless of how hard, you work, or obviously how hard anybody works, it's very important, like, as a person, you gotta have time for your friends and for your family, to quote unquote, waste time. Like, and it doesn't even have to be that. To me, those are like those small uh like, I guess those are therapeutic moments, without it
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
being like therapy. I feel like hanging out with your family, or going to see your friends, cracking some jokes with
yeah.
people that love you and care about you. you know that's the best time. That's the best time that you can spend for yourself, because I just feel like it just puts you in a good place mentally, in a good mindset. Because you gotta want to be able to be around people that have your best interests.
Yeah, that
Um,
that 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 just goes with my point. So like
yeah,
maybe and again, I don't want to get too specific with anything, but like
yeah,
I think of one situation where, you know, uh maybe it's a quote unquote friend from the past pops up recently,
mm-hmm,
start talking a bunch and
mm-hmm,
maybe has some calls and stuff. And I know for a fact that there's nothing that's gonna happen between this. Like
yeah,
it's stuff from the past, it's old emotions, it's old feelings. But I
mm-hmm,
know that there's other things with this situation that are not going to end up well for me. So why like waste that time, putting in the effort, energy, all that shit
yeah,
with that just for like a short-term sense of feeling when you know what? Let me just go hang out with my buddies, or let me just like,
right,
and this is time outside of Mila. Like this is always outside of Mila because Mila's always my number one. I'm talking days I don't have Mila. On days I
yeah,
don't have
of
Mila,
course,
like I
of course,
rather just go sit with my, like I did this past weekend. I'd rather go sit with Frankie and Gina, my parents,
of
at
course.
McBride's on 52 versus like, all right, I'm gonna really like shoot to try to like get some phone time or spend some time with this person, even though there's zero that's gonna happen with this. Like I gotta
Absolutely.
just avoid those situations as much as possible.
No, I agree with you on that, man. That's one of the reasons why I think it was easier for us to be close friends and hang out, is because you're very family oriented. I'm very
Yeah, for
family
sure.
oriented. Like most of the time, I would rather just go kick it at my mom's house.
Yeah, and you do that all the time. Like I do
Yeah,
that all the time, and so do you. You always have family parties and stuff. So
yeah, like we'll have family parties. We'll get together. We'll drink, we talk some shit, catch up, and it's nice. You gotta be able to have those moments. With your family. It's very important. Because you can have friends, and obviously some friends are closer than others. But your family is always gonna have your back. And then then you have friends that turn into family. It's all about the energy that you put out there. And I feel like after a while, it's pretty easy to see, you know like who really cares, and
yeah,
who doesn't.
yeah.
You just come to figure that out when you get a little bit older. you
And
know
and, and I like that point too, because it kind of goes, that point goes to my point too. Even with your friendships, like am I
Mhm.
going to go chase some friendships, or am I just going to stick with the people that are are there for me and are good friends
Exactly,
to me?
yeah.
I
Yes,
rather again put my time and my energy into the people that are good friends to me and supportive of me
absolutely.
versus like, let me go chase these other friendships to try to salvage
Nah.
this and that, or try to have all these friends. Fuck that.
Mm-mm. Nah, there's no reason. There's no reason to do that. You don't really need a whole bunch of people like that. You just need a
Nah,
few good ones.
small circle
Um,
is perfect.
Absolutely, absolutely, it really is. And it may, and it may be a little bit of a cliche for people to be like, "Oh yeah, like small circle," but at the end of the day, it's the truth. And
It is.
half of the time, it's like, it's not even you who cut the people out to make the circle, small. Like, they cut themselves out with shit that
Yep.
they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Can't
just
control
it's
other actions of other people in
no,
maturities, immaturities, mindsets, all that shit. But
yeah,
it is what it is at the end of the day. But I think we got our heads on straight when it comes to 2023. Only 18 days in, man. So I mean, didn't want
I
to
think
get too
so.
deep there, but I do like that. But we're getting close to the hour mark here. I want to make sure we we cut it out before it hits the hour mark. But
Okay.
what's something you want to close out the podcast? Any wise words to the people that have listened for an hour now? Anything you want to get off your chest? It's just an open mic as we close out the show here.
Oh
Anything you want
man.
to say to the
Yeah.
world here?
Man, that's kind of tough. Okay, I say, you know, don't don't let other people's energy, distract you. Stay focused. Just because somebody, behaves a certain way or acts a certain way, don't let that get you off track. Don't don't let them suck you into their energy. Like don't become that. You have to stay clear and try to make sure that you're walking on a righteous path. And I think when people hear like the word righteous, they're kind of scared of it, because I think that some people see it as like a high and mighty thing. That's not what it means. It just means
Yeah,
doing good.
yeah,
Just make sure that you're trying to do your best to be good to others. And I feel like you'll see more times than not, that energy is reciprocated. You just have to be kind to people. And we need more of that, in the world, is just to be kind to one another. And from there we can go a long way, because things are pretty crazy right now. We all know that the world is pretty nuts. Just stick to yourself. Try to take care of the people that take care of you. Um, Watch football, watch basketball.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
it, Hang out.
yeah, yeah.
Just live your life. Have some fun. Have some fun. With the hard work. And yeah, I guess that's it. That's kind of key. Just try to do things to set yourself up to be comfortable. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, yeah, I like that. I like that. I'm gonna end on a less serious note. All great stuff from Tane right there. I'm just gonna throw this out here as a thinking point for you guys listening. Lot of lot of media focus on that one girl that one girl cop that banged all those other cops. And
Oh, hey, hold
she
on. That's what happened with that.
The one, yeah, that one chick girl, cop, she banged like six of the other cops, and all
Okay,
these memes came out about
see,
it. She
man,
cheated on her husband. But
man,
here's what I'm gonna say. Here's what I'm gonna say about that whole thing, Payne. Everybody's making memes of this chick and making fun of her and pointing to her. What about all those other cops, those guys that cheated on their wives? All right. So how about we stop picking on the one girl and start pointing to those other guys too?
That's true, man. Yeah, that's true. It is tough to. I feel like the girls they always kind of get the brunt of that. But man, I'll be completely honest with you, man. Like like certain stuff will happen on social media, and like there's certain stuff where I'm just like, I see the memes, I want to know what's going on, but I might not read into it too much. I had
Yeah.
no idea that's what happened. That is hilarious.
Just be
That's
patient. They said
hilarious.
it's going to be ESPN 30 for 30 one of these days. So just
that's
just make sure
that's
you pay attention to that. But
that has nothing. That has nothing to do with sports at all.
who knows? Who knows? Maybe she played college badminton or something like that. But Tane,
Badminton.
my guy, appreciate you coming on the show, bro. This will be out for everybody to listen tomorrow, which is going to be Thursday. But appreciate you guys listening. Episode 5. Always want to cut it before an hour mark, so we're getting right there. But Tane, one of my
Yes,
best friends in the world. Appreciate you, brother. And we'll
absolutely.
talk to you guys soon.
Peace.